Hey everybody, Tina here, and if you are looking for a serious outdoor knife, there are a few things about this one that I think are much more important than just how good it looks. First, this is a full tang fixed blade knife that is made from D2 steel, and if you're not really a knife person, full tang simply means that the steel doesn't stop where the handle begins. It continues all the way through the handle. So instead of having a blade that's attached to a separate handle, you essentially have one solid piece forming the backbone of the entire knife, and that is something that I would specifically look for in a knife that is going to be used for fishing, camping, or other demanding outdoor jobs, because you're eliminating a potential weak point. The D2 steel is another feature worth knowing about. D2 is a tool steel that is known for being hard, wear resistant, and for holding an edge well, which means that you're not constantly having to sharpen it. One thing that you may not realize though is that D2 is not considered completely stainless, so especially if you're going to be using it around water or anything wet, I would clean it and dry it thoroughly and take care of the blade rather than just tossing it back into the sheath wet. Now look at the shape of this blade, because it's very intentional. This is what is called a trailing point blade, where you can see the tip curves upward and you've got this long sweeping cutting edge that the shape gives you more cutting surface and helps with longer controlled slicing motions, which can be useful when you're cleaning and processing fish or handling other outdoor cutting tasks. The raised point also gives you a good visibility and control over the exact point where the blade is going. And then you've got this G10 handle. A G10 handle means that the material is extremely durable and it's not going to absorb water the way some natural materials can. The texture also gives you a good grip when your hands are perfectly clean and dry, which is something definitely consider if you're going to be working around water. It's secured with 3 rivets, ergonomically shaped, and because the D2 steel runs underneath the handle scales, you're getting that full tang construction. There's also a lanyard hole in the back, so if that's something that you would like to use, you can, but don't overlook the sheath, because I think that's actually a pretty important part of buying a fixed blade knife. This one is actually molded specifically around the knife, so it fits in securely. I also like the sheath itself is relatively streamlined. You don't have a bunch of bulky pieces sticking out from it. So if you're putting this into a fishing bag, tackle gear, camping gear, or outdoor kit, it's not taking up unnecessary room or even snagging on everything around it. And I think that's really who this knife makes sense for. Someone who wants a substantial, purpose-built, fixed blade rather than a general little pocket knife. You've got the D2 steel reinforcement for edge retention and durability, the full tang construction for strength, a trailing point knife for controlled slicing, and a G10 handle for grip and durability. And you have the protected molded sheath. It also comes nicely boxed and is good for shipping. Would make a really nice gift for somebody who's into fishing and camping. But even if you are buying it for yourself, I think the biggest selling point is that the design isn't for looks. Pretty much every feature on this knife has a practical reason for being there. So if you're in the market for a hunting, fishing, camping knife that is durable, has the really nice blade, really nice sheath, I definitely think that you should check this one out from Purple Dragon.